Today we're going to change the fuel pump on this 1969 Oldsmobile 98 convertible. First we'll remove the fuel lines here and here. And then we'll remove the bolts here and here. Notice the bottom one will be a little difficult. A 1/4-inch nut driver usually makes short work of the hose clamps. You'll have to excuse my camera work here. It's really hard to work on the car with one hand while holding the camera with the other, and I can't see the camera while I'm working. A 1/2-inch end wrench will remove the upper bolt. Get the lower bolt started with the same 1/2-inch wrench, but it'll require a socket later on. It also requires that you have joints in places you didn't think you should have joints. And with a little finagling to get it past all of the fuel lines and various impediments, you can get the fuel pump out. The upper bolt is not a bolt, it's a stud. It's okay if it comes out. If you look closely, you can see that the flange is cut out so that you can have the stud installed before installing the fuel pump. This makes it easier. We're going to remove the nut from the stud and clean up the threads so that it'll be easier to install. Always compare the new part with the old part to make sure they're the same. It really sucks to get under the car and find out the holes don't line up. On this Olds, somebody had decided to use Teflon tape on the flare connector, so we'll have to clean that off. Ordinarily, you do not have to do that. I will say that flare fittings are much easier to install when they are not attached to a hard line. And now we'll see if I can install the thing one-handed and still give you a decent camera angle. It will fight you going in. It doesn't want to go in. Notice how that cut in the flange makes it so much easier to get that bolt lined up and in. Get the lower bolt started by hand and then work on it with a 1/2-inch socket wrench to get it the rest of the way in. Top bolt's the same, start it by hand, and then you'll have to put it on with the wrench again, same as you had to use getting it off. When installing the fuel lines, make sure that the hose clamps are rotated in such a way that you can actually tighten them. It especially makes it easier for future reference. You never know. Someday this thing might have to come off again. And that's it. One new fuel pump in place, looking good. And now the next step is to fire up the car and make sure it actually works after removing tools. Works good. I hope it's some help to somebody. Thanks for watching.
Remember, life's too short to drive an ordinary car.